use those at a lot faster rate. You know, that's like the difference between a sprinter, if we're just doing running, and then let's just say someone who's a long distance runner. And it's cool because I'm super into like DNA, ancestry, and stuff like that. And that's why you see different races are good at different things, and they have different attributes. If you watch boxing, traditionally a Mexican boxer is going to fight like Canelo. You know what I'm saying? And a Mickey Ward guy is going to be a guy who's going to last long. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, it's cool to really see. And once you really understand that from like a non-biased perspective, you're going to be better able to optimize yourself and accept and understand these things.
Dr. Sebi was big on predispositions, you know, on you know, Sebi, Dr. Sebi, he was on predispositions and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like also that those predispositions to mental illnesses, to all the way down like to whatever you name, you know, it's like, because I was talking the other day about somebody, I was talking to you, Randy, and I was like, about how like we have these things in our DNA, and it's like something will happen in our life, and all of a sudden now this pops out in us, right? So it's like, I believe that it comes from our ancestors, where it's like some event or anything can happen in our life that pulls it out of our genetic DNA, and now it's out and shown.
And that kind of ties into the spiritual aspect of it, as well as like what our ancestors has been through. You know, I'm a big believer in like 10 ancestors down the line, we still have that hard-coded in us, because we're literally like small pieces of them, and part of their energy is inside of us. You know what I mean?
A channeling thing in a way. And that's what I was trying to tell you the other day, Randy, was about how it's like if you like, you can channel your ancestors, and then like through meditation and stuff.
Right.
That's what
sure. That's part of the reason I got these tattoos on me, man, is because like I truly believe that I was a warrior in my past, and always fighting and all this stuff. So I have this gorilla on me because like, hey, I think I could channel energy from this. When I got to go 8 mode, I'm going to go 8 mode. I got a tiger on my foot. When I need to be quick, I'm going to be quick. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of the reason I have a lot of these tattoos that I do, is just because like, I believe I could channel energy from animals. I believe I could channel energy from my ancestors. I believe I could channel energy from my past lives, you know?
Yeah, I posted a video from 50 Cent, and he talks about how people said he was crazy, right? And he was like, people say I'm crazy. I can look at him, I'll be like, yeah, you're right. Because I'm crazy enough to believe what I'm talking about was actually gonna happen. And my background coming from absolutely nothing, and then being able to reach the level of success, because success looks different to everyone, right? Success is different to everybody, and I think I'm very successful. So reaching to my level of success and coming from where I came, which is very improbable, south side of Chicago, Inglewood neighborhood, like I'm still, as to this day, having kids that I know passing away through gun violence and all types of other stuff. But to be able to reach that and go through that and constantly tell yourself day in and day out, like, hey, like you ain't got a choice but to make it, because that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna make it. Like 100%. You're going to make it, right? And keep telling that to yourself, and then actually see it materialize. You gain that vote of confidence to be like, you know what? It's gonna happen. Whatever it is that I want, I'm gonna get it. It's just that simple, right? So being one with that universe that way.
So I think it's really cool to view it like that, and that's kind of how I view it. But breaking it down a little bit more, I believe that like our souls live forever, right? I believe we all ascend back into God, some people call heaven, some people call paradise, but we all ascend higher to a higher level of consciousness afterwards, whatever you want to call it, right? I believe. What'd you say?
What you're talking about, I call it the collective unconscious.
Correct. So it's a collective. I feel like essentially one day we're all gonna ascend back up into the same entity, and I believe that in this next level of consciousness, you don't experience pain, you don't experience love, you don't experience joy, you don't experience time, right? So we put ourselves here so we can experience these things. Like, we chose to be here. But to get back to the law of attraction, the universe, you know, time, I believe everything's happening all at once. Everything that's going to happen has already happened. Everything in the past is continuously happening, everything at the same time. But when we put ourselves here on this earth, we're able to view it in a linear manner. So if you could access that thought process and that belief and that understanding, you can make things, say we're here, you can make things here come true and align the universe to allow that to happen through actions, through belief, through statements, and through ultimately understanding, you know?
One person that's huge on this, on what you're talking about, and the most successful I've seen with it is Conor McGregor and the manifestation of his career. You know what I mean?
I agree. And I believe at some point, if you, I'm a big Mike Tyson fan. So if you look at Mike Tyson, his ego and his ambition allowed him to line those things up. And now that he's at a way higher level of understanding, he's like, hey, man, now it's time to actually help people. I let the ego allow me to become this powerful. Now, am I just going to be a tyrant? Or am I going to now become someone who affects the lives of others and influences others to raise your level of consciousness? And I believe people like that are extremely important. Even like monks, Buddhist monks or Tibetan monks or whatever you want to say, those people that live their lives in the mountains and just don't talk and don't anything, I feel like they take energy from people like us who are ambitious and who have ego, and they kind of level the playing field on like a collective scale. And I believe that energy is very important here. I would never become a Buddhist monk or Tibetan monk, but what they do, I think, is extremely important for the everyday person like us.
Right.
Yeah. They balance things. You know what I mean? It's wild because I felt like for a while, because it's like I felt like I was supposed to become, you know, something like that and you know, go out that way. But it's like I also know I'm supposed to be a part of this world. So it's like I'm trying to. That's what my whole company that I just created is I'm trying to bring that Eastern, you know, the philosophy behind Eastern religion, you know, the fundamental values of it, you know, compassion, you know, secularism, all that type of stuff, altruism, you know, being one. And I'm trying to bring it to a Western audience, almost like Alan Watts did back in the day, but for like athletes, for people, you know what I mean?
That's sick. I think that we're in definitely a spiritual awakening time in our lives where everyone's kind of becoming more in tune. I think it's very hard because in order to survive in the Western world, you kind of have to be egotistic, but not in the sense of like cocky, in the sense of ambition, in the sense of conquering, in order to survive here. You know?
For sure. That's where mindfulness like plays a big role, because I have to be mindful even amongst that competition to still hold the values that I hold important to me. You know what I mean? I can't let myself get away from who I am in this competition, right? So it's like the fundamental values behind the company and that I'm trying to, is mindfulness is number one. You know what I mean? Because if we're not being mindful, that's where the ego now starts to take over. And then now we're really becoming somebody who we're really not, because our ego isn't who we are.
And mindfulness is super important because I believe that right or wrong, right, truth or false, I think that if your intention is pure, that's what you are ultimately judged on in the next life, you know?
I agree with that. That's
so
why
when did wrestling become like an avenue of enlightenment, right?
For me or for other people?
For both of y'all, for both of you. I mean, I know when it was for me, right? We talked about this the other day. Like it was a point in time where like something happened when I was in high school, and a kid said something to me, and it made me realize, like, hey man, you're not living up to your full potential, right? You're not taking this as serious as you should, right? And it made me kind of realize, like, hey, you have to move different to be successful in everything, not just in one, right? Because I played collegiate football, right? But in high school, I kind of like put wrestling on a back burner. Like I was naturally good at it, right? I was naturally good at it, so I didn't put any effort into it, right? But when I was not good at it, I made excuses of why I wasn't good at it, right? But when this particular person said something to me, it clicked and was like, yo, that ego kicked in and was like, nah, I can't be the man if I'm not good in everything I do, right? And then it made me just take that approach with everything I did in life, right? So, but what was it like that made you guys start to think about what it is that you do? Like, and then change the way you eat, right? Change the way you approach life, right? Change the way you handle, politics, whatever it is. Like, how did it help you with that?
You want to go first, or can I go, Freddie?
Yeah, you go ahead first.